Alright, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy AfroBlac coming at y'all with yet another video on the channel. I wanted to do a update on my slabbed collection slash my latest submission from Beckett. It is a collector special that I've actually been waiting on since March. A couple cards in here that you guys may or may not have already seen, and there's actually one in here that you guys haven't seen on video yet at all. And then there's one more card that's actually at work that I'm using as a display piece, so bear with me. I'll just mention that one as well. The one that's at work is a Lugia V alternate art. I ended up getting a 9.5 gem mint on it. All the cards that I submit through Beckett also have subgrades, but I think the subgrades on that was a 9 on centering and then two 9.5s and then a 10, I believe, for the rest of the categories. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into this. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. So first up, we got a Charizard V-Star, Gem Mint 9.5, as you guys can see. I actually got this out of a UPC that I bought myself. This was the best one out of the three. For people that aren't aware, the Charizard UPC actually had pretty bad print quality overall. The centering was pretty bad on pretty much all of them, or they just came with scuff slash whitening on the back and stuff like that. Just basically made them ungradable. This one I got lucky on. I actually ended up getting 9.5 on it. I figured I would send it in because why not? I think at that time, each of the cards that I sent in was $18 a piece, so it was all right, you know. But yeah, no, this one was pretty good overall. So yeah, that's the first one. Second one was actually technically the pair of it. So I ended up buying a Mewtwo V-Star from the V-Star Universe Japanese expansion. This is basically the Japanese version of Crown Zenith for people that have been buying cards at least since last November. Was a killer set. I actually ended up picking up this card for about, I think, $35. So then you add in the tier that I sent it in, so $18 to get it graded. Ended up coming back as a pristine 10. Can't ask for much more than that outside of a black label. But yeah, I think this one's valued at around, I want to say it's valued at around $150 US. And then this one is probably worth around $75 to $80 US. So did pretty good on those two. It was pretty solid. Couldn't have asked for much more than that. Next up, we got a Celebi V. If I can get it to focus, there we go. Celebi V from Fusion Strike. I actually have two of these, and I have the Japanese one as well that's off getting graded right now. This one came back as a 9.5, pretty solid. Got three 9.5s and a 10, so very strong 9.5 at that. I believe as a 9.5, it's valued at around, I think around the $100, $120 mark. Pop reports we'll probably include in the video somewhere as well, either as a pop-up on the screen or along with the price or like in the description or something like that. But yeah, really strong. I actually picked up this card for about $30, so pretty good. Next up is actually a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! So next up, I actually ended up picking up one of these Dark Magicians. It's actually the Dark Magician that came out with the Adidas shoes a few months ago. Got a quad 9.5 gem mint. This card doesn't really have like an extremely solid price. The most consistent I was seeing was around $400, but it didn't tell me the pop report. Beckett likes to change their labels every now and again. So I have no idea what this card is actually labeled under originally, so it's not giving me the accurate pop report. So as far as I know, it could be a pop one. I have no idea. But yeah, no, I actually got this sealed for $120, I believe. Right now, there are two other cards of these on eBay listed. One is listed at $800. The other one's listed at around $400. But the only recent sale I've seen for this card is around like $440, something like that. So pretty solid. Got my money back and then some. So I can't complain about that. It's a prismatic secret rare, so you guys can see the shininess on it. Pretty solid. Next up is a Dialga Silver Foil. It's a full art. This is actually from the Japanese Hyper Metal Chain deck. Came out around the same time that the Japanese version of Phantom Forces came out. This card came as a secret rare in English as a full art silver card, but over in Japan you had to get this through the starter decks that you could buy. I believe this one was seeded in one in every like 6 or 7, in between like in between 6 and 8 starter decks. It was just randomly seeded, so it's a pretty solid card. Kind of hard to find in really good condition. I've picked this one up for about $90, and it came back as a near mint 8. You guys can see the categories right there, and honestly, it could have been worse. There is some flaws on the back. You guys won't be able to see them on the camera, but yeah, there's some flaws on the back that so I can understand why. But yeah, no, it came back really solid. Couldn't have asked for much more than that. So it's good. It's good. Next up is actually a card that I've had in my collection since I believe early March. I actually got this card raw from my local town. There's a guy that was selling it on our Facebook marketplace for about $400, something like that. So I traded him a couple cards and then gave him $200 cash, and he gave me this. So I picked it up for about 400 total. Got it graded as priority shipping, and I actually got the little case that came along with it when they were doing that promotion for priority. So I got that, got it back within about a week. Came back as a 9.5. But yeah, no, it's a gorgeous card. I honestly don't know if I even want to sell it. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, no, it's been in my collection for a while. Pretty good main piece, and can't get enough of it. So moving on, the highlight or one of the major highlights of my collector special submission that I did is I ended up getting a Black Label 10 on the Zoroark V-Star from, once again, V-Star Universe. Came back as a black label. I actually started freaking out when I seen the card list that they were shipping back. I seen that there were 2 10s in my submission. One was a Mewtwo. One was this card. I checked out both of them, and obviously I seen that the Mewtwo was a gold label 10. But then when I looked at this one, I like triple took, did a triple take on the subcategories because I seen that they were all 10 the first 2 times. I'm like, wait, holy shit, I got a black label. So that's crazy. It is currently a Pop 61 on the Beckett Pop report, and I believe the total amount graded was in between like 500 and 1,000. I'm sure it'll either pop up on the screen or down below. But the pop report's actually pretty decently high, and there's only 61 others of these in the world. Picked it up for about $40, and then did the $18 tier. So I spent around $70 total on this card, and it's valued at around $700 right now, give or take. So can definitely say this was a W. So that's pretty good. Next up is actually a pair. So I actually got both of these, as you can see. So maybe if I can get it to focus. There we go. All right. So this is, as you guys can see, this is from Flashfire. This is actually a secret rare Mega Charizard Y, number 107. Picked this card up for about $70 US. Sent it in and ended up getting it 8. I believe the value is sitting around in between like 175 and 250. It's somewhere in that range. I do not know the pop report, but if I can find it, I will go ahead and throw it either on the screen or in the description like usual. But yeah, no, I picked it up for pretty cheap. The raw value of this card is around 90, so I got it a little bit below market value. Came back as a near mint 8. Was pretty solid, was pretty near mint, so couldn't have complained too much about that. And then we got its close brother, the Charizard X, also from Flashfire. As you guys can see, came back as actually an 8.5. Can't complain about that. Picked this card up for about 120, and I believe the raw value is sitting at around 300. Yep, number 108. It's a gorgeous card. Can't complain about those two. I got them for cheap, and they came back in pretty strong grades. Next up is the opposite of some silver cards. I actually picked up the 2 gold cards from Legendary Treasures. If I can get it to focus, there we go. So Legendary Treasures, Zekrom Secret Full Art. Got this card for around $75. Came back as a near mint 8. Pretty strong. Pretty strong grade considering the flaws that were in the card. I honestly thought it was going to come back as a 7, but beat my expectations, so I can't be pissed about that. I believe a near mint is or near mint 8 is valued around in between 100 and 150 US dollars. So made my money back a little bit. It's pretty solid, pretty solid. Next up is the other secret gold full art from Legendary Treasures. By the way, this is from Black and White era, just so you guys are aware. So Near Mint 8, Reshiram, both came back with solid subgrades and also overall grade. They actually got the same one, which I was surprised about. Because I honestly thought this one was in a little bit better condition, but you know what? Can't complain about an 8. I believe the value is sitting around the same amount, and I actually picked this card up for about 50 bucks. So yeah, it's pretty solid, pretty solid. Yet another pretty big highlight of my submission. I actually got this card also locally. It is a Jolteon Gold Star from Power Keepers Vintage. I actually picked this up from my local card shop for about 180. They told me that it was damaged, so bought it up because why not? You know, most Gold Stars you're lucky if you can find it in really good condition. So I was just like, you know what, I'll take it home, see what I can do. Looked it over, couldn't really find any flaws outside of Jolteon Gold Star. Got it locally. Took it home. Took a microfiber cloth with very, very, very little water. Make sure it's very little water. You want to make it slightly damp, if that. But yeah, it's pretty solid. Took it home, cleaned it off, and sent it in. And it actually came back as a mint 9. I was actually pretty impressed. I believe right now, I don't know the pop report, but like I said, I'll look all those up later. Value on this, I couldn't really like nail down. It's anywhere from $500 to $700. Most of the listings I was seeing, it was in between $600 and $700. So yeah, I actually did really good with this. Was really good and really solid find locally. Can't complain about that. Next up is the other Yu-Gi-Oh card that I actually picked. I found, or I shouldn't say I found necessarily, but I actually pulled this card myself out of I think some sleeve boosters from my local Walmart. Sent it in because I was like, you know what, this is a pretty cool looking card. Seems fairly sought after and valuable. So you know, I'll see what I can do. Unfortunately, it came back as a mint 9, but you know, it is what it is. I pulled it myself, so I mean, I didn't have too much invested into it. I believe the value on this card is about 150 is what I was gathering, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, really solid find for the collection. Next up is yet another card that I pulled myself. It's the Regidrago V from Paradigm Trigger, so the Japanese version of Silver Tempest. Pulled it out of my second booster box because I actually bought 2 at the same time. Came back as a 9.5. I can't be mad about that. I'm not really for sure where the 9 came from, but I mean, it could just be like a surface scratch somewhere that I didn't see. It's very possible. I just sent it in because I was just like, you know what? I need a couple extra cards to throw into the submission. This one was pretty clean, so I thought I'd run the money and see what happens. Came back pretty well. The value on this card and the pop, I believe the pop is around, I don't know, like between 50 and 70 for this. And I think the value is sitting anywhere from 90 to 120 for this. And a PSA 10/9.5, so it's pretty solid. Can't be mad about that. Next up is this beauty, Calyrex, Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX alternate art from Chilling Reign. Came back as a 9.5. It actually got all 10s minus the centering, and I believe that's just because the back image is kind of crooked. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Picked this card up for about market value, so about 50 bucks. Sent it in because why the hell not? Came back as a 9.5. Pretty solid. I think the value sits anywhere from like $100 to $150 about this price, and then kicks up to about $250 if you get a pristine 10. But came back to 9.5. Can't be mad about that. Also, very gorgeous artwork. It's actually, the artist is actually Mitsushiro Arita. who's the same guy that actually made the base set Charizard artwork. So explains why it's so nice. And then the last one for this submission was actually the English version of my Dialga. So this one I picked up on the low. I believe I paid about $85 total for this, including shipping and stuff. Came back as an 8. The actual market value for this card is about 180, and an 8 it could be anywhere from 250 to 300. It is the only silver foiled card in English, slash like the entire TCG. So it's actually pretty sought after. It's a pretty cool card. Came in a secret rare in Phantom Forces back in 2014. So I was just like, you know what? I kind of want this card in my collection. So yeah. So it's pretty solid. Pretty solid. So yeah, that's all the cards I had to showcase to you guys. Overall, I can't be mad about these cards and their grades. I would say that if you guys are going to send in to Beckett, I would recommend that if you guys are like fairly impatient, or you guys just have high value cards that you want to send in and get back ASAP, either for selling or for your collection or whatever, do not send in for the collector special. I'm gonna be honest. I love Beckett slabs, and their overall like grading criteria or whatever, but their turnaround times are kind of bad for this tier. Like I said, I waited from, I believe they received my order at the end of March, and I literally just got this back. Let's see, on the 13th of this month. So they took damn near 4 months to get this back when it was supposed to take in between, I believe, between 1 and 3 months. It seems that when they announced this collector special, they severely underestimated the amount of people that would send in their submissions. One thing that I did not like about this at all, company decision wise, was they changed the turnaround times on the website, but they gave no notice to any of the customers that actually sent in at this tier. So the only way that I found out that they changed it from 30 to 60 business days to 60 plus business days was I was actually getting ready to send in my next submission. So I found out by chance. They didn't send me an email notifying me, which I honestly did not appreciate, and I already gave them criticism for that in an email when they tried to catch an attitude with me when I was asking where my cards were. So it's not necessarily like the regular employees' faults, but I would say from a business or a leadership standpoint, they kind of dropped the ball on that one. But overall, can't be mad at the grades. I think that they did really good with their criteria. I think it makes sense. I can't complain about the overall value that I got from it. But I will say that from now on, I will be using the standard submission tier. It's more expensive, but I get my cards back within a month and a half tops. And as a person that's trying to do this as a side business slash make a little bit extra money on the side to put back into this hobby, I don't really want to be waiting too long. You could call me impatient, that's fair, but nonetheless, I just won't be using that tier anymore. But yeah, overall, really good experience. Really happy with the grades. You guys will actually see some of these on my eBay page. The link to that will be in the description below. Some of these are on auction right now, the ones that I was willing to part with. So if you guys want to go and take a look at those, take a look at prices, ask me questions on there, you're more than welcome to. I have the ones that I'm going to be selling, they actually come with a display stand and will obviously be in sleeves for protection. So yeah, this has been AfroBlac with AFK or Team AFK, and I hope you guys have a great day.